Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to take a look at what is going on with the pull rates for Phantasmal Flames. People have been reporting quite widely that Phantasmal Flames, it feels easier to pull things like the Special Illustration Rare Charizard, the Gold Charizard, etc. Is there any truth to it? Well, the lovely folks over at TCG Player have gone and done what the lovely folks over at TCG Player tend to do. They have opened up a bunch of cards and they have shared the information over on the old interwebs. And look, they've opened up over 5,000 packs. That is decent information. The thing to remember is that with some of these cards coming out once in over 1,000 packs, it's not the biggest sample size ever. It is by far the best information I've found out there, so you better believe that's what we're using, and it does seem to be legit and all of that. However, usual deal, pinch of salt. Do remember that 5,000 packs, it's a decent sample size, but it is not perfect information, let's be clear. Sound good? Excellent. So what are the most common cards we want to pull from packs? Well, think about EXs, like for instance my boy Empoleon, double rares as they're officially called, which I almost never use because I just don't like it. And they come around 1 in every 5 packs. There are 10 different of them, so that means they should come around 1 in every 50 packs. That is the specific one. If you want an EX, you should, on average, be able to open up 5 packs and hey look, boom, I got an EX, job's a good un. But if you specifically want Empoleon, you should have to open 50 packs, and then it's going to come out. Obviously, averages and all of that, but you get what I mean. Now, it always confuses me, I don't really get it, but when these are put together, people have this as any one is 1 in 5, and a specific is 1 in 48. That's what TCG Player have got. As far as I'm concerned, they're 1 in 5, and there's 10 of them. They should all be equally rare, because they're just done on sheets with the same number on. So they should come around this specific 1 in 50. So I'm using the nice even numbers because I do think that is the best way to do it and by far the most likely way to be right. And even if they weren't all even, we then need specific pull rate for each individual one. So if they're 1 in 5 and there's 10 of them, they should come around 1 in 50 packs specifically. That's the ones that, we like this. And look, you're talking like 7 per box. That ain't too bad. But what about when we go a little bit better, a little bit fancier? Full arts. Which I think are the second... I think I'm going in order of how much people want these. Or the reverse order, if you get what I mean. So you've got Pokemon like Mega Heracross, for instance. But then you've got supporter cards like Dawn. And there's even some trainers out there like Battle Cage. Full arts do encompass a range of cards. And there's actually 17 different ones when you look through all the different types. So we're talking about a 1 in 12 chance of pulling any full art, which then there's 17 of them, which means that a specific full art should come around 1 in every 204 packs. Basically, you should get 4 of each of the EXs, before you get 1 of each of the full arts. Of course, the specific one is 1 in 204 packs. Another way to look at it is, on average, you should get the set of full arts after 204 packs. Now again, TCG Player are slightly different on the specific. They've got the specific as 1 in every 211 packs, but it should be 204. 1 in 12 packs, 17 different. 12 times 17 is 204. Now, these are the ones we like, and to be fair, right, full arts, you're talking 3 per box at this point. 5 EXs, 3 full arts. Nobody can say that you don't get a lot of good stuff when you open a box of Pokemon cards. And you might not get the ones you want, and that's fine. But 5 EXs on average, 3 full arts on average. And you know what's really cool? We are sticking at illustration rares 1 in every 9 packs. Now this is huge, because pre-Mega Evolution, or really pre-Black Bottom White Flare, but like for the whole Scarlet and Violet era, these were 1 in 12 packs. These were 3 per box. Every box you got free. Every box of every Scarlet and Violet set I ever opened, every booster box, had free illustration rares in. Every one that I saw open had free illustration rares. I am not saying there aren't a few outliers here and there, but I'm telling you they were pretty hard 1 in 12. They're now 1 in 9, and for what it's worth, they were 1 in 9 with Mega Revolution as well. What that means is Pokemon have just upped the pull rates. And, TCG Play here, they opened 5,000 packs of this. They opened 5,000 packs of Mega Revolution, and in both sets, they found it to be 1 in 9. There's no way they're finding that, and it's still 1 in 12. Now, this should average out to 4 illustration rares per booster box. I've actually seen some friends pull 5 out of Phantasmal Flames. So the average is going to be 4, but whereas it used to be 3 and it was a pretty hard 3 per box, now the average is 4, and 4 nines is 36, exactly 4, but it doesn't seem to be a hard and fast 4. Like I say, I've had friends from Phantasmal Flames who have pulled 5 of these in a box. And actually now in a box, we're looking at 4 illustration rares, 3 full arts, and 5 EXs. These are what you should get in every box. And that's absurd in terms of pull rate. Compare that to a lot of other card games out there, and you are eating when you open a box of Pokemon. I know some people love to complain that they got the worst box ever because they didn't get a special illustration rare. I come from the dark times, and I assure you, it did not look like it does nowadays. So what about the big hits then? Well, special illustration rares. There's so few of these, I can just show you all of them. Obviously, we got the Charizard, but then we've got ourselves the Rotom, which I really love having all the different forms of Rotom on. The Mega Sharpedo, and Nagamiso here absolutely nailed it. I love this card. We've got Mega Lopunny, which is the one that I pulled from my English ETB. And then we got Dawn, which is the one that I pulled from my Japanese booster box. I'm convinced, by the way, that the Japanese cards have better texturing. I need to find an English Dawn to compare it to. But I opened 2 special illustration rares from Mega Revolution, plus the Mega Lopunny from Phantasmal Flames. And my Japanese Dawn has such better texturing than all of those 3. But again, I need to compare to an English Dawn to be sure. There's only 5 of them. Now, apparently, they're coming around 1 in 80 packs. This one is nice and simple. 80 packs, 5 of them, 400 packs. That's pretty low. 400 packs to get all the special illustration rares? That seems pretty good. To put it into context, Mega Revolution, TCG Player had about 1 in 100 packs had a special illustration rare. And with 10 of them in that set, that meant 1,000 packs to get the set. So Mega Revolution, it's 1,000 packs to get the set of special illustration rares. Phantasmal Flames, it's 400. That is a fantastic change. That is an absurd change, a ridiculous change, but a very welcome change. 400 packs, all the special illustration rares. And then finally, we got the gold one, which is 1 in every 1,260 packs. So yeah, obviously this is an incredibly rare, difficult to pull card. Another way to put it is, if you opened up 5,000 packs, as TCG Player did, you would expect to hit 4 of these. It's why the pull rate for this is the most unreliable. Because if you got really lucky, you could pull like 8 from 5,000 packs. And if you got really unlucky, you could pull 2. When we're looking at EXs, and they're 1 in 5 packs, and you open up 5,000 packs, you get 1,000 EXs, that's pretty reliable data. Whereas when you're pulling these, and they're 1 in every 1,250 packs, from 5,000, it's a little bit less reliable. Still the best information we have, but again, let's please take it with a pinch of salt. Here's the pull rates as a whole according to TCG Player. And again, I think the specific is not quite right on some of these. I think the double rare, it should be 1 in every 50 to get all of them. I think the full art should be 1 in 204. And I think the illustration rare should be 1 in 117. But this is the best information we have, and it's good news. If we put it directly next to Mega Revolution, we can see that it's largely the same. And I say largely the same because the only real difference here is that Special Illustration Rare has come down from 1 in 100 packs. I'm assuming it's 1 in 100. And if it is 101, 100 is still a better number to work with. So we've seen a drop in the pull rates or an increase in the pull rate, depending how you look at it, for Special Illustration Rares, which is wonderful. Everything else is sitting there the same, but because there's fewer full arts, it's easier to get the whole set. There's fewer Special Illustration Rares combined with the better pull rates, which makes it easier to get the whole set. This is good news. Same thing with Illustration Rares. So not only have we seen Special Illustration Rares become easier to pull, the fact that it's a smaller set with fewer of all of these categories of hits means that getting the specific one is going to be easier. And this is what I've been saying for a while now about the fact that I don't think, even compared to a lot of other sets, I don't think pull rates are going to hold very well here because stuff's a lot easier to pull, ladies and gentlemen. A lot easier to pull. So there we go. That's what you need to know. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about all of this. Tell me what you've pulled. Tell me if these pull rates seem to follow what you've had. Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel, like the lovely Eric Ridgway, who's been a supporter of ours for a long time now and seems to be an absolutely lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.